What up, Ninja Pineapple Clan? Eating some bread. Better bread than dead. It one of my running locations. Finally slowing things down before I go back and spin the legs out with more blood circulation to recover. Blood circulation movement for those painful post-race marathon areas. And this looks pretty grainy on my phone right now. I think my phone doesn't record well at night. Let's see. I don't think that really helps zooming out, but I'm gonna do a CIM breakdown. At least hit my marker of PRing in the CIM 2024 marathon race in Sacramento. But gonna celebrate a little bit with some black olive bread from Go Get Bakery. Lady there is it's actual French bakery, an actual French bakery, and she's French, super nice. Gave me an extra huge bag of free breads to put in the freezer because I'm so rad life and French myself. And the chocolate sugar bread, dessert bread afterwards, is also vegan. There's chocolate in the middle. It's like a croissant. It's not a croissant, but it's a, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's like a chocolate filled sugar beaded bread. Hella, yeah.
About to audio voiceover this bad boy. Anyway, procrastinated this year's CIM.
Coming in late this time, holding a pee for like 3 hours. Hey look, it's actually me. I don't really post myself too much. Alright, they're officially closed, but I've got plenty of other CIM footage from previous times, so I'll be wrapping this one up. Check out some of my older videos of my CMN marathons in the expos.
Barely anyone was here this late. Usually this thing is packed and you have to wait a huge line to get your bib, so.
Nice thing about getting here late is not very many people. There's some super blasts. Luckily I already got my pairs. It is Metaspeed Sky. These are actually way more roomy than I thought they were going to be. I've heard that they were really narrow. I wouldn't mind rocking these. I might have to get a pair of these before my next marathon. I might like wait over early reaction, but these feel like they'd be really fast. I think he said it's a Sky. I think he said it's a Sky Paris.
Yes, they are the Sky Paris.
I don't think it's the Edge.
I legit love the way those shoes felt. I might actually seriously have to get a pair and review those. But I still have one of my Nike Alpha Fly 3 Crimson Guava to
grab a few more Mortons.
Race in, so
it's like my favorite gels.
I'll be excited for the next version of the
Last year I did get a
Paris.
massage. This year they're closed up. I think I went to them last year. I tried the compression boots and that massage table last year. I did post a teeny bit of that, snuck in some camera footage.
This is a trip. This is a ghost town compared to when I got here last year, as you'll be able to see in the video from last year.
Ooh, I'm scared. If you want to throw up and have your stomach curdling and have explosive poops and diarrhea on the course, have curdling dairy while you're running, not a good idea. That's probably like something they're trying to advertise for pre or post, but I will not be eating that shit. I will not be fueling with that.
Not your milk, not your mom. You are not a baby cow. Vegan for the animals, planet, and humanity. And no, I'm not the type to be silent. I have never been a spineless coward who stands for nothing.
Last year I did post some of the medals. The A6 stand was probably the coolest so far. I don't know what the medal is going to look like. I don't think it's posted here yet.
That would defeat the surprise of the looks of the medal and some of the gratification of finishing and earning that medal getting put on you.
I don't even think they have 2023 up here. But there it is right there.
Pretty dope that they have all the history of the medals out like this in picture form and a lot in physical form. I said it before and I'll say it again from the review I did on this. I love these recovery slides. I wear these things all the time with the Hoka red compression socks that I bought to match them. Knee high, baby. They can go over the knee for some extra compression if your knees hurt. No days off means a lifestyle. You implement your training into all facets of life. Just like I commute on my road bike and mountain bike. There's some salt for water retention for your race and training.
First run after getting my gear at the running expo. Kind of retracking some of the route on CIM. My watch says I'm -1 right now on this run. Doing a warm-up run, couple miles, so I can hit the both ways. Like a lot of things. Apparently they light the beam when the Sacramento Kings win. It's like a purple beam. It's kind of cool. So they're sending out the Joey the Jackalope signal. It's purple, my favorite color. But go Warriors.
Unpacked in the hotel. It's been a long day. Gonna try the Morton bicarb system. Last time I tried that, I had a terrible long run. One of the worst long runs I've ever had. So, see if I set myself up for failure. And carb the fuck up. Got some rehydrating nutritional fruits. Keeping the carbs mostly low fat and easy to digest. Just want simple carbs. I've had enough protein this year. So, I think I can do a couple days of just like high carb, low fat for the race. Simple spaghetti with nutritional yeast and sushi rice with a bunch of brown sugar and oat milk and soy vanilla milk. A little bit of splash of vanilla, organic vanilla in there. Some dried fruits, candies, cherries are really good for runners. Some chocolates, snacks. I might go pick up some bagels tomorrow, but this is the mainstay of what I'm going to be eating for this run. This is pretty much how my hotels always look on my vacations, where I set up food on a desk and just watch YouTube vids. Also going to be getting those vitamins in, some beets, some extra reds, and I brought a high sugar fruit punch. I'll roll my feet out. Rockstar before the race, and I think I might actually just go high caffeine because I have not been feeling great. Just put a scoop of this bad boy in there, some blackberry lemonade by Gorilla Mode. All right, time to eat. I need to refuel after this very long and treacherous drive to Sacramento. It was long and treacherous and arduous. Onward. Hard-fought battle, second in command from the Pineapple King himself. I love how I brought the GoPro this trip and didn't use it once. All phone, baby! You might call it lazy, I just call it efficient training. My time is valuable to me.
Halfway mark, halfway point of my shakeout run. December 7th, 2024 for CIM. Race day tomorrow. Rocking the Brooks Glycerin Max on this rad run. December 8th. I was kind of looking forward to running this little park this year. So usually just run down the bridge. I've connected my heat map to CIM from the hotel. Last year, I connected the heat map both ways to CIM course.
Comment, kudos, Strava with the heat map.
This is just additional pretty miles for a shakeout run. It's kind of nice. I have not been sleeping very well this week. I've had only one real good night of sleep. So, still pretty achy. Just bought 60 pounds of ice for an ice bath. I always don't buy enough. So, I'm gonna take an ice bath after this. Right now, after this run, because I'm a little worried about some of the aches and pains I'm having. I don't feel like super fresh and confident. I feel tired, sluggish, and achy. My goal was to feel good running those high mileage weeks, getting some good workouts in. Those 360s in a row, they're all around 62 miles, not including cycling and strength training. And my body just kind of, the weeks following, couldn't maintain. So, not just lower it minimally. So hopefully this isn't another long shaper that's gonna bite me. Where maybe next time I need to back off one of those weeks and push it closer to the marathon.
I love how over the top gorgeous it is out on this scenic shakeout run day, and I'm pretty much got my phone pointed at the trail. Sick, huh? Hella sick. Hella sicka. Had a peeny weeny furball right there. Rest in power, sweet princess. Pine nut. It's really cool that they have all these neato trails right off the cusp of this hotel, Neotoma Lake Inn, for the marathon every time I come here. So I gotta hit some more of these trails off of the hotel path.
I'm in. Not even me Irish blood. Me cold Irish blood will save me. So cold. I got the timer on. Being a boy doesn't help.
If you know what I mean. And also, boys don't cry.
Me bones hurt in the wintertime.
Buses from the hotel.
Woke up at 4 a.m. Buses leave at 5:30 a.m. Race starts at 7 a.m.
Hella buses.
Stop laughing at me, bus lady. By the way, CIM likes to brag that they have the most porta potties for a marathon per ratio to people. So many marathon porta potties and people. Where do they all go? CIM Sacramento typically has 10,000 runners around, probably give or take, each year.
And there they go, everybody. Let's go. It's the official kickoff of the 2024 California International Marathon. Good stuff. All right, so we got our elite runners up top here. One of my favorite moments at the Expos was the revealing of the men's T2 was for the male and female.
Right turn up here.
And yep, that was it. 4.3 seconds. That's how long it took me to run that marathon.
I guess I don't look too terrible for post-race day.
There's hella heads on this bus, fool. This is actually a really cool giveaways at the end of the race because you really want to fuel up with protein and carbs right afterwards. So getting a Cliff Builder's bar, obviously it's all vegan, bananas and stuff like that, and water and a free energy drink from some other people there. Awesome.
From Sprouts, gonna refuel with a lemon poppy seed cookie, some organic blueberries, protein drink, and some vital berry juice. Gotta recover properly, get nutrients in me. I've only had 2 bananas, protein bar, and some water after that race, and it's been hard for me to like eat, but let's go.
And yeah, that was post shower, got everything packed up, headed back home.
Peak recovery. On my way home, and someone's providing all the smoke over there. It's like an accident or something. We can zoom in. I won't be taking that exit. There's a bunch of like lights flashing, hella smoke. What the fuck is going on over there?
These red lights try to say no,
Just past Vallejo.
but I keep screaming, I'm gonna just go.
Sacramento. Ow. Ow. And yeah, look at, wait, you can't really see now. But ow. Anyway, what I was saying was driving back, you know, I was gonna take that exit and then ow. 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 Alright. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to see over that. So I'm gonna skip that exit and then keep on going onward.
Red lights.
It's been a long, arduous battle. Wretched wankers trying to prevent Joey the Jackalope from getting home and recovering. In my Boinkies in Zelda video game. Alright.
Peace out. This is the straight stupid idiot stuff I do to try to get a thumbnail.
Welcome back, Pineapple Leaf, and back with another one, the update to CIM, which I won't get into in great detail, but in my last video was not the most confident about going into. But I was relying on my base miles of the year, doing the most I've done before, and some key workouts leading up to the race, which I discussed in the previous video. So I'll kind of leave some of that out right now. But I had those 3 60+ mile weeks back to back to back, and I wanted to just kind of drop it to 50 and then maybe a 40 and just like hopefully really start to taper like 3 weeks early.
Being out from the marathon.
Keep the legs still moving at a higher volume in the taper while feeling good of coming off of that, but my body's kind of got really too achy, overloaded, and stressed, and but I still felt pretty good that I still had some really key workouts to go into, and
Scritch.
the one defeating thing that I talked about in that previous video though was even after hitting those key workouts, like the 18.2 mile sub 3 pace, the my last long run, and my 5K PR in the taper, my watch really didn't move at all except for on the 5K PR. It did dramatically get better, but from what I've gathered on the Garmin watch in some of my previous videos I did last year, where it had I can typically get a 5K prediction, or I mean a marathon Garmin prediction of running around at least 10 minutes better than what the watch predicts. And so this time going into the race, I was not feeling confident because the day of really, the Garmin watch marathon prediction said 3 hours 20 minutes and like 9 seconds or something, 6 seconds I want to say. And but I still had some confidence knowing that I've been here before, even in the taper when I'm feeling really achy and kind of like stressed out. Of the reason, one of the big reasons I was pulling back so much was my Achilles pain. I was concerned that I was going through a San Francisco 49ers Ed McCaffrey Achilles injury or something like that. It was really bad. I did get a deep tissue massage from Giovanni, who's a deep tissue massage therapist and who we train together sometimes in Muay Thai, etc. And that also hindered me in my taper of tapering too much and maybe making the same mistake that I did at San Jose Marathon, where I came in and it had the reverse effect of not giving me fresh legs but more stiff and hibernation legs, because you taper too long, too hard, you take too many days off, you go into hibernation mode, and it really has a reverse opposite effect on you. That was redundant. The reverse effect on you, and to where you do want to kind of run almost every day, and you just want to lower the mileage and keep some intensity in there. There's even been adaptations of fitness with up to the last 10 days, so you don't want to just like start resting and drink mojitos out on the couch watching TV too much. I mean, you want to like still hang out, watch your whatever you're gonna watch afterwards, in your downtime. I do that all the time, but I'm just saying you don't want to like overkill and take every day off and think that's going to help you. It's not. You want to keep the legs fresh and used to running fast, a little bit here and there, and still keep them going so they're just kind of ready to go loose, and hopefully move the run. And with some of the California weather, luckily we didn't get any atmospheric flooded waters coming in. Right now it's raining. I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but luckily it was good weather on CIM. I think it was really low 40s, ended kind of in the, I want to say lower 50s, maybe mid 50s by the end of the race. I want to say let's just say 52, 53 degrees. So my main goal was to at least PR because I wasn't feeling that confident. My backup goals were at least get in the top 3 PR marathons, and I was hoping I wasn't just gonna get my third best time with my marathon watch prediction being at 3:20, just going like maybe under 3:10 and having 3 marathons under 3:10. So that did not happen. Let's just get to the cut of it. I did get a 51-second PR. Not exactly what I wanted at the end of everything. I want to go sub 3, but my PR last year was 3:04:41 Strava PR, and this year was 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 50 seconds. So I'll take that. And a big positive sign for this was, which leading up to this was, even though I was stressing over, maybe being semi-injured and my inner knee has been hurting a lot. Even afterwards, I always think I'm kind of like somewhat injured after a race, or possibly. And this is the third day after just using the bike to recover on the indoor trainer. Was Zwift to circulate blood in the legs. The very next day, I did a 20-minute ride for recovery. You only want to do the next day to spin and get circulation pumping, blood pumping into those areas for recovery. Maximum 20 to 30 minutes at very low intensity, like just easy intensity. If you're going to do a recovery run, you want to practice it running slow. It's really just about getting that blood flowing to help recover and not get super stiff. So leading up to it, in the previous video, get to CIM the day of. I kind of procrastinated and got to CIM really late, the expo. I want to say it wasn't purposeful procrastination. Got off work Thursday, tried getting some sleep, woke up, took my time to breakfast, and took a while to pack. And I was just like, I gotta do a better job at making a checklist, hopefully just on my phone, of like whenever I travel, I need to have this, and this ready to go. Here's my running stuff. Here's possibly my cycling stuff, whatever I'm bringing, and I just need to check that on the way back. Like check it off. I have all this stuff, so I don't forget anything. From the toiletries to like even stuff for make sure I have all my race gear, all my shakeout run gear, and when I'm leaving back to home base, to be able to check that same list off that I have everything, because I did forget something for my first time at the hotel. Forgot my Sharper Image massage gun, and which has been great and has an excellent battery life. I'm gonna finally upgrade to a Theragun, so I will be doing a future video on the Theragun. I don't know which Theragun I'm gonna get yet, but I'm probably gonna get a Theragun, and I'll be talking about that later. So I think it's time for an upgrade. That must be a sign, because I was massaging my legs out with the massage gun the night before in bed, and I put it on the bed, and then when I left and packed everything off to go home, the covers were hiding it, so I missed it. It was on the top of the bed when I left, so kind of tricked myself there. And had an ice bath the night before. I ate super duper high carb, low fat. Made a huge thing of simple pasta, marinara sauce, and a nutritional yeast just for some like a little bit extra lean protein, vitamins, and to make it just taste a little better. And but nothing complicated, not like too much fiber. I made a huge thing that I'll post in this video of my marathon fuel, which was also the same thing I did last year, of a bunch of rice cooked in oat milks, a little bit of soy vanilla milk, and a bunch of brown sugar. So it was like my dessert that I would have throughout. So really high carb, low fat, and those were the two big staples throughout those 3 days that were extremely helpful in making me feel a lot lighter, faster, and not breathing as heavy like when I'm eating like a bunch of high fat protein. And I had a bagel in the morning. I had my traditional Rockstar sugar punch with some extra added caffeine in it. I did a shakeout run. I did a couple small runs, like after the expo. So I ran to the Capitol and through the park and back, and a little bit into downtown and back. So, and then the next day I went to, when I was at the hotel, I got kind of somewhat earlier, went to the store, got some bagels, and some Jamba Juice, Super Blast, like vitamin C, and a couple wheatgrass shots, and just eating super clean, a lot of like high high carb, low fat, like fruits. Ate a lot of bananas as well, just a bunch of fruit, stuff like that, and it's really disciplined in that sense to hopefully make ground for some of the other shortcomings that I had that didn't go well in towards the last 2 weeks of the taper. So I think that helped me out immensely. And I think that even though I was happy to PR, I think I could have PR'd way harder if my body would have reacted better. It wasn't. It has it's the most miles I've ran in a year. It had a lot. I'd say a lot more intense running in some of the training, which you do gotta, you gotta run slow to run fast your base miles and build up your base. It's all about mileage and stacking all those miles, but you do have to run fast in some of your key workouts and get the long run. Those are some of your vegan bread and butter, Miyokos. I've always noticed that it's when I'm building my base with slower, like kind of easy and recovery runs, the times where I feel the most in pain or like close to maybe injury or like those aches and those niggles are gonna be after a lot of my speed workouts, especially like threshold, like sprints or like more up tempo, like or doing a lot of strides within a workout. Sometimes you want to, in those sessions, you don't want to like push yourself to failure. That is not going to be conducive to health and injury prevention. So that you don't want to like overdo. You don't want to do that to failure. Like in running training, it's just too harsh on your legs and joints, and you kind of want to like leave those things thinking you could like maybe do one or two more. Like you could do a little more. Like you want to like get those adaptations and benefits of your body getting used to running faster and building and rebuilding your muscles tears with those kinds of fast twitch muscles and your long endurance muscles. But yeah, overdoing like sprints and high intensity workouts is what's gonna set you back if you think you're not doing enough if you miss one sprint or something. I imagine being set back like a whole month for an injury. That's going to be way more detrimental to your training and PR outcomes. So I really think that if I get used to running these miles a little easier next year, even with the foot problems I've had, because I did take a lot of running time off last year after CIM with my foot and problems, which haven't really gotten better. I think it's just a bone spur. Just like
Evie Steiner and all her bone spurs.
Who's that track spinner? Just like that track spinner.
Abby Steiner.
She had like 3 surgeries, like, and 2 of them were bone spurs, and she's still running really well. They talk about it on that Running Productions channel. I think it's the Running Productions channel or something. I'll have to. I'll probably put a text up right now in there of the channel name that is really fun to watch for current events on what's going on in the track and field running world in general, especially like marathon racing and stuff, and Jakob Ingebrigtsen. And so all said, I can't complain about a PR, but I can because I feel like if I would have if my body would have responded a little better and maybe I didn't push certain things, I wouldn't have had to have tapered so much because of being worried about being injured, because my inner right knee, this is the 3rd day in after the marathon, is starting to feel a lot better. So there's another thing when you're getting closer to your marathon called paranoia. It's where you think you're always sick or like dying or you're injured or something. And but I can tell when something is off. So I don't think I just had paranoia. I think I'm pretty rational in thinking about like, oh, I feel that, like this is a serious thing. So it's about to be a problem. And yeah. So all in all, happy with the PR, but really I think it could have gone better. And I think one really good sign leading up to this marathon, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So even something like Zach Lowry would always tell me is he thinks it would, and I agree with this. I've heard this from other like running coaches, running channels, that waking up early, getting your body used to running at that time, because the race is usually early. I totally agree with, but with all the work, working and chores and all training and stuff, losing that kind of sleep. I'm not a very good napper in the middle of the day, so it's hard for me to just like wake up, go do like a crazy long run, and then come back and sleep and all that. Like, sleep is the most important for. That is where all your benefits are in rebuilding your body, those muscle tears, and where you that is where the most recovery happens during sleep. So that is the most important benefit to me. Is I always sleep on my days off as much as I can possibly, and I have not been getting the greatest sleep recently, where I will like wake up and then just like I'm pretty good at being able to wake up and go back to bed, but sometimes leading up to the race I had a couple of those nights where I'd wake up and then couldn't go back to bed. So I had some nerves going, but some nerves and stress, but all in all, what my thought process is that sleep is way more important, and if I can get a lot of sleep before the marathon as much as possible, I'm gonna take that over and then just wake up early one morning, just like one day before, like on race day, wake up a little earlier, because I took sleeping pills to go to bed earlier, and which did work, and so I got to bed earlier, and then you wake up early enough, and if the adrenaline should be somewhat going to where you're going to be awake for that race and be excited. So it did work out. Sometimes your body responds well if you have enough sleep in the week and you wake up one day early. So I set my alarm at 4. Buses left at 5:30. I did take a shower, no soap, before the race, to help me kind of wake up a little bit. Some warm water in the face, but that can dehydrate you a little bit, so drink some more extra water. And also, it helped to get any oils off my body that might prevent the KT tape from sticking, which stuck almost too well, because when I took the tape off at the end, it actually ripped a little bit of my skin off and actually made my knee hurt even worse. But I knew it was just skin level and it wasn't anything serious. Did use a lot of KT tape on the Achilles and knees. So that was my breakfast: bananas, a bunch of bananas for hydration, nutrients, and carbs for marathon fuel. I didn't eat so many bananas leading up to it like I did in San Francisco, where I had 30 the night before and I peed all night in my uncle's house in San Francisco. I had to pee like literally 30 times. Probably, seriously, actually probably that much. Before the race, I got like no sleep before the San Francisco Marathon. So be careful how much hydrating fruit you're eating. You want to eat fruit, but you just don't want to overkill it, because I also ate a mini watermelon as well within the 2 days leading up to it for hydration, nutrients, and that was really helpful. And also, when I did fall asleep early, like a couple hours in my sleep, someone pulled a fire alarm in the hotel, and this crazy alarm was going off. I was like, no way, what's going on? Because California also had a recent I think it was it was first reported 6.6, but I think it ended up being a 7.0 earthquake near Humboldt or Eureka area. And I was like, oh, is this the big one finally happening up off the coast of the tectonic plates shifting off the coast of Seattle or Washington? I know Seattle's in Washington, off of the coast of Washington. I don't know exactly where it's supposed to, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to hit off the coast of Washington. We're supposed to hit the tsunami from that area. And that's the big one that's supposed to hit, and it's supposed to be like the biggest, I think, ever around here.
Top end of the Richter scale.
And but I luckily just went to bed after that, because I was like, are you kidding me? But I kind of hear people talking outside. It was not, the alarm got pulled up, turned off quickly enough, and so I went back to bed, alarm went off 4, and it was just like, I've been feeling pretty, almost like a little down before coming up to the marathon, but not too much. like I wasn't like possibly coming down with something like I did last year's CIM, but I did start to feel better after the shower, and I started actually feeling some like emotions of getting excited before the race. So that was exciting.
Because I was emotionally
And,
flat before that. I typically try to almost do that on purpose so I can sleep
Um,
better leading up to the race.
like I wasn't like super hyped up, but it was like a long wait because you know the buses get there, drop you off, and I was getting worried doing my dynamic stretching beforehand, and I was doing some static stretching as well and dynamic, and I retied my shoes a bunch of times. I actually got them pretty dialed in. So with the Alpha Fly 3 Guava Crimson, and which they did perform really well this race. So that's my marathon PR shoe so far, and I was worried because I didn't have to have my morning number 2 yet, and I didn't have it at the hotel. So I started to feel a little something with the dynamic stretching, probably like 40 minutes before the race, and so the lines were getting pretty long. And I knew once you get in line at the porta potty, it takes a long time to even get to the porta potty. So I got in line, tied my shoes a bunch of times in the line, still did a little bit of stretching, warm up, and started to get a little nervous and kept retying my shoes. Something just fell off because of the top metatarsals, and I thought, oh, it's too loose, too tight, and I didn't want to come. It's typically, if I don't do it tight enough before a race, it really gets loose. Like some shoes I have do become too loose as I start running, and I think the Alpha Fly 3 does that. So I got a good, nice lockdown, and to me, I want them to kind of feel like socks, like not overly tight, because you can mess your feet up pretty bad doing that, especially like your metatarsals and stuff, and and they're pretty designed well to like encompass your foot like a sock, and with that stretch, like firm knit material that on the upper, and the laces were pretty well over to where they weren't hitting the top point of my metatarsals that have been more injured for the last couple of years, which I think is a good sign now that they're not like overly inflamed after the race. My left foot was hurting more in the race. My left metatarsal, the one that was originally hurting the most, and then afterwards, I thought it would be my right, and because that's one that's been a lot bigger the last since Humboldt Marathon that I did that video on. So during the race starts, got all my Instagram story footage to share with all the homies, and please subscribe from Instagram if anyone's watching. It is free to do so, so it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the subscribe button and help the algorithm out with some likes and some comments, and ask any questions, and I will respond to the best of my abilities in the comment sections, anything you may have. So I think one of the most positive signs about this marathon was that I got my bathroom stuff, everything dialed in, everything was set, had everything locked in. The only thing I forgot, actually, were my sunglasses for the race. I did forget that, but I actually kind of like not having the sun. The sun didn't mess my eyes at all, so maybe those few extra grams, maybe it helps me with a few more seconds on my marathon, and who knows. So I always try to take that positive in it. So I'm in line with the 305 group, and I pretty much stuck to them as best as possible. Every time I got water, I would kind of lose them at every aid station, and but I would kind of make sure that was my little tempo stride to catch back up to them. I would kind of use that next mile to catch back up, getting the water. I would never fully stop, but I would kind of bend the cup so you can kind of get more of a, if you kind of crimp it and drink, that helps a lot more than trying to because the water can get all everywhere, and you don't want to have what happened to me and get a really bad blister having water in your shoes, like what happened in San Jose Marathon where you're running on a blister, and that happened to me in Napa Marathon where I was running on a really bad blister, and that is really gonna just fuck your marathon time up. So it wasn't easy, but I was pretty much sticking on that 305 pacers really well during the race. So I thought that was a really good sign, because last year I was kind of losing sight of them more. Last year when I ran 304.41, I it was way harder to run that race, and even Santa Rosa was like a lot harder on me because I think I tapered way too hard, and it just felt easier running this year. This was maybe the least amount of pain I went through in a marathon. Like, yeah, my right knee, even my, like, I did have some. You're always gonna have something like hurt a little bit in a marathon, like extra. Oh, my groin muscles were the biggest problem. It's always something that kind of flares up, but nothing that was like too overly bad. You're always gonna have to run through some pain. Life is pain and PRs. But if I would have KT taped my groins, or my groin, like my left and right, were like hurting a lot, that was where I was getting the most stress from. So, in hindsight, maybe I'll do that next time. I did not skimp on the tapes, and I think next time maybe I'll see if that's even a possibility. So, I ran that. Even though it was painful, marathons are not easy. Running is not. Hitting your goals are not always going to be easy.
But just because something's not easy in life doesn't mean you don't go for it.
Fortitude, the mental toughness to get through it, that is like one of the biggest things is your organic computer, your mind. And it was a very good sign that I think even though things didn't go well towards the end, that I still PR'd. I think they could have gone a lot better in hindsight, but you live and you learn. Everything's a learning lesson, so you don't really lose. And sometimes you make those decisions, and you can either gain from those decisions, or you can mentally let them set you back even further. So it's kind of your choice, and we're made up of choices, so choose wisely. We are instruments of consciousness made up of choices, so choose wisely. I also think that post-marathon, this is, the recovery has not been fun, but it's also not been the worst. And I think that's another good sign. So I think my body's getting a little more used to running these marathons. This is like 2.5 years of taking running seriously. Actually, probably, like, let's just say 3 years of taking running seriously. So I ran my first marathon in training originally 3 years ago, whatever, like more than 3 years ago. Like 2.5 years ago. And I've ran, I don't even know, this is 1, 2, this is, if you include my training marathon where I ran one solo, which was, I don't recommend doing that. And for your first marathon running one solo, this is 9. So who knows? Maybe the double digits will be the lucky one. I'm thinking about signing up for Napa Marathon, and that's in March, very early March. So maybe I can even springboard and take this marathon into Napa as a good training run and PR, hopefully. But I think maybe next time I might just go for the gusto, and it's not unheard of to, do 4 minutes faster for a PR in a marathon, especially if you got a runner's high going on, you feeling good. Maybe I'll go sub 3, so maybe I will try to, like this time in CIM, I'll be dialed in the morning of, and get there early enough where I'm not just rushing to the race line after the porta potty because I had to, like, it wasn't good timing, or I had to go to the bathroom like right beforehand. And I get with the pacers of the 3-hour mark and just go for it. Hopefully just stick with them as much as possible. This one, if I try to run sub 3, and if I were to obtain that, it's going to be a lot harder than what I just ran in CIM. I'm going to go through way more pain. Because I ran that at CIM, I ran it easier with less pain because I felt good that I knew I was going to PR. Like, I was very confident, and I didn't want to, like, blow it up. Because I was like, all right, I'm going to PR. I know I'm not going to go sub 3, so I'm just going to, like, keep doing this. And in this, stick to the pacers, and at the last 2 miles, amp it up. Because I don't think I'm going to injure in the last 2 miles. And that's what I did. And within about the last 2 miles, I did amp it up, and I just left the pacers behind. And ran a lot faster. I'm going to have to show the splits probably now. And all the statistics from Strava, because I haven't even fully looked at them. I need to sit down and, like, really go over them. And because, I got the marathon PR and the 30K PR. So I think that was a good sign that I was able to kick it up so much at the end. I actually sprinted to beat 2 more people the last, like, I don't even know, like from that last turn to the finish line. So, and I think it was an official 26.35 GPS marathon, because like I said before, and I'll say it again, marathons are measured perfectly, 26.2 miles in the
Straightest line from start to finish,
From
including the straightest
each
line you can
turn
take
is
from
the
each turn
closest
to next turn.
sharp angle turn to each turn. So it makes it exactly 26.2 miles. So if you're weaving it all between those 10,000 runners, or going around corners, like not perfectly in straight lines from corner to corner, that, like, if you're doing it at the worst angle, that's adding 40 feet every time you turn. So you have to take that kind of stuff into account. And like I said, CIM, a lot of rolling hills. It has a negative drop of like 300 or something, and that mostly comes in the last, like, more towards the end. You don't get over the elevation gain until about 22 miles in. There's like one last hill around 22, maybe a little over 22, maybe like 22.2, something like that, and then it's pretty flat from there on out. Maybe like a very slight downhill or something, but I've heard some courses like Chicago, obviously Berlin, Tokyo. Tokyo's also very flat, and it has, I think, a negative drop. And there's only like 200 feet of elevation gain or something at Tokyo. I think like Chicago might be 250. I signed up for Chicago, by the way. I found out today at some point, because
I got the
so late
email
for bed,
and I didn't get picked.
from Night Owl, and
Dang it.
And I'm just not always the best adulter in things.
No 2025
so,
Chicago for me.
I'm not the best being an adult at things sometimes, so squeaking this one in before I go to work in the morning. So I find out December 12th, I think, which is today, and they charge your card automatically. It's a lottery because so many people put in for one of the world's marathons. It is now one of the 7 world's marathons, because I think they just added one in, what was it? Is it Australia? I think is just got added, but before that it was one of the world's 6 marathons. So it's huge. So many people put in for it. It's a really fast course because it's so flat. It's like pancake flat that you are gonna. That's where a couple of the world records are. World records have been set in other places like Berlin. That's another extremely fast course. I think Tokyo maybe at one point. And Chicago has now the women's and men's world record for the marathon there. So it's a very fast course. So hopefully I can get in there and run that in next year of October. So my next 2 marathons, I'm hoping might be faster courses like Napa, California, and Chicago. So, yeah, 4-leaf clover, hopefully.
No Irish remedy will save me.
And I think for the most part, I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but really cool. After the race, after that last sprint toward the end, got a little footage, and I was a very good boy, and I did my static stretching at the end, because when you want to do your static stretching at the end of your exercise, because your muscles are warmed up to loosen, and instead of like one of those emergency blankets, they hooked it up with one of these. It's got like a humongous, I don't know what it is. It's like finisher, but it's like, it almost looks like a gigantic pillowcase, like / hoodie thing. So I did kind of drape this over. And got my medal first though. Then they gave out the Cliff bars. I got my bananas and stuff like that. I got my Cliff protein bar. It's always important to get a lot of protein in afterwards. Luckily, they had all the vegan options, and got some bananas in for that nutrition and to help rebuild those. You have to get those glycogen stores restored. And the Cliff Builders have 20 or over 20 grams of protein in it. So, and put this over for some warmth because it was still like fairly cold. And
And
I think
thumbnail
this is actually a
opportunity.
really cool. I'm not as big a fan of like a lot of the like navy blue long shirts and stuff like that you get, and like this is something I'll actually keep. And the free water bottle they had with water already in it, I think was actually, it's a pretty cool, more quality one. It reminds me of the UCI World's Championships, like the Tadej Pogacar one, like Rainbow, in cycling racing. So this was pretty cool. Might just be like Pride Solidarity, so which I think is pretty rad. And yeah, I took my CIM free bottle last year to this race, and to make things easier, because everything you wear that you toss towards the beginning gets donated and or recycled. So I took my bottle from last year because I have so many water bottles from cycling and free events, from CIM and other marathons. But I just used it. I put my Rockstar in there with the protein powder. Oh,
Caffeine powder, not protein powder. Ew, gross. Who does that?
Used it to slurp down the Morton's gel. So that was the first time I tried it in an event. I tried it before that long run that I had, that horrible long run that I talked about in the previous vid. You go check it out. And that was just my body was horrible that day, and I struggled to even keep it under a lapsed time under 9 minutes. This thing was like 8:57 for 21.5 miles, and the running time was 8:43 pace. But just getting the time on feet is crucial, even if it's a bad run. And any run is better than no run. But I needed to hit the 3 hour mark, like the over 3 hour mark, like 2.5 weeks out before the marathon. Like that was crucial. Even if it's bad, you still have to get the time on feet, because I already had some really key workouts before that, and then I got my 5K PR. I think the week after that run, because I didn't want to do too many high, fast speed miles before the marathon. So I think a 5K is pretty reasonable to keep the legs going into that 5-minute zone. So my 5K PR was under 6 at 5:57 pace, 18:29. So yeah. Anyway, that about wraps it up. If I forget anything else, I'll just add at the end. Maybe there'll be some bonus footage in this one, like I usually do. So stay tuned after this. Point the camera at something and just talk. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe and like buttons. That really help the channel out a lot. And it would be kind of cool to at least become somewhat of an influencer and hit the triple digits, 100 subscribers. So getting close enough. The thing that helps out is maybe getting some more shorts videos in there, especially with those short vids get more views and on YouTube, and especially the foods get a lot of likes, a lot of hits. So anyway, peace out and happy PR hunting. Till the next one, long live the pineapple leaf. And remember, a ninja is one who endures. Keep fighting the good fight.
Rice, lentils, super grain mix, organic maple syrup with vegan tempeh bacon. I might put some bitchin' sauce in here but it's kind of a breakfast bowl. A healthier breakfast bowl. Random post-week marathon meal. Just wanted some easy, fun calories in this one. The tempeh was expiring, so really just needed to use it and throw it in there with an easy meal.